It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on Nigerian newspapers, and I begin with the Nature newspaper. Says a major headline here says flood, over 2.5 million persons affected, 82,000 houses damaged, 603 dead, 2,407 injured. Official to meet Cameroon authorities over Lagdo Dam. Experts blame failure to prepare for climate change for disaster. You find all of the details on the front page of the Nature News newspaper. To the front page of this Nigeria now, still talking about the floods of sorrow. Over 2.5 million persons displaced, 603 deaths, 82.538 houses submerged, says federal government. Nigerians groan from devastating effects, seek government's assistance to check misery. All right, to the front page of the Abuja Inquirer now. Federal government warns of more flooding, says 603 Nigerians have died. Anambra, Delta, 3 others still at risk. Residents of flood-prone areas for evacuation to send delegation to Cameroon over Lagdo Dam. All of the details on the front page of the Abuja Inquirer. To the Nigerian Tribune now, floods, 603 Nigerians killed, 2,504 million affected so far. 82,053 houses, 332,327 farmlands totally damaged. You find the details on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. To the Nation newspaper now, outrage over Atiku's "Don't vote for Yoruba Igbo" remark. Ohanaeze, Mohalu, others knock PDP presidential candidate. All right, to the front page of the Punch newspaper also. Fresh trouble hits Atiku over anti-Yoruba Igbo comment. Tinubu Obi's camps, NNPP lambastes ex-VP over incendiary statement. PDP candidate likely breached Section 97 of the Electoral Act. Fine may apply. Atiku campaigns in Kaduna. Tinubu meets Northern Coalition. And to the front page of the Blueprint newspaper, 2023 presidency, Tinubu Atiku in war of words over Northerners don't need Yoruba Igbo comment. Resort to ethnic heart dangerous, won't save you from the defeat. Ohanaeze Ononuga, he cannot speak for the North. Fani Kayode. Atiku explains statements as APC candidate. Threat to national cohesion, not me. Ex-VP reacting. Mike.
All right, I have Daily Trust here. That's where we're starting from on this side. And it's focusing on the Omatseye report. And he says, despite white paper, asked agencies get 226 billion naira in 2023 budget. That is what Daily Trust has there, coming from the Omatseye report. From there, let's go to First News. First News says, caught with their hand in the cookie jar. It says 12 bank executives nabbed for stealing customers' funds. We arrested suspects for insider fraud, says the EFCC. And suspects transferred stolen funds from dormant accounts to various beneficiaries. Anti-graft agencies saying this. We've already identified principal beneficiary. EFCC saying this. All that on the front page of the First News. Now let's go to Leadership newspaper. Leadership is focusing on something else. And it says, Bagauda Council, you remember that issue, America's grave silence worries Nigerian media. It says ex-U.S. envoy Russell Hanks fingered in Durbar Hotel bombing, Council's death. That's what Leadership has there. For 1 month, the U.S. Embassy has refused to respond to leadership queries. All right, all that on the front page of the Leadership newspaper. From there, let's go to National Economy. It says Nigeria risks severe hunger crisis as floods ravage farmlands, worsen food insecurity. That's what the National Economy has there. And from there, let's go to the Nigerian News Direct. Nigerian News Direct is talking about the 47 billion Air Nigeria project. Excuse me. Stakeholders knock federal government over failure to commence operation. Stakeholders knock federal government over failure to commence operation and are skeptical of sustainability of project and the fault federal government's approval of 45.3 billion naira for NAMA, a call for commercialization and conversion of others, right? It's been on the news that Ethiopian Air will be managing that project. From there, let's go to Business Day, rather. Business Day says how brain capital can solve Nigeria's revenue crisis. How brain capital can solve Nigeria's revenue crisis. That's the big story on Business Day. All right, that's what we have. Veronica.
All right, let's quickly look at the story on the front page of some of the major papers this morning, talking about the issue of flooding across 33 states of the Federation is said to have been affected, and the federal government has said that over 2.5 million persons in these states have been affected, 82,000 houses have been damaged, and 603 persons have died, and 2,407 persons have been injured. And recently I saw a video of someone who traveled to one of the states, I think in Bayelsa, and the filmmaker was showing me some of the visuals he got. You know, it's such a sad one. A particular man refused to leave his house, so his son had to come to say, "I'm dragging you out of the house," and the water was at the chest level. And you also see a lot of persons, you know, moving out of their houses, trying to cross these waters to, you know, some places to get to safety, so to speak, carrying their bags on their heads. But then the current of the water still, you know, swept some persons away. It's a really sad situation.
It's really sad. Water is a great example of climate change in Nigeria today. The barrage of flood in parts of the country, especially, it's everywhere. It's in the north. We've seen the story in Jigawa. We've seen the story in Kogi. Lokoja has become neck deep in water, and so on. But what we are seeing here is a failure to prepare by the government, and we said it over time. The federal government did not prepare for this. Worldwide, there have been stories, and we have had this in the last couple of years. And for us to be caught napping like this is really not acceptable.
The federal government is saying it is the states and local government that did not make necessary preparation to address this.
I agree. The state governments have their own roles to play, but you have the federal agency. So they didn't work with them to get the things done. There's no doubt that the state governments also have their own share of this problem. But as I said also last week, that many of these states have environmental agencies. How much do they fund them? They don't fund them. They just leave their own environmental, just throw it aside. Only Lagos pays attention to it. And you can see that in spite of the fact that Lagos is below sea level and closer to the coastline, Lagos is more able to handle it than the other states. Though we heard that a lot of the flooding is coming from outside the country, from the dam. The dam is now from Cameroon coming down here. It is very obvious that we have not prepared. We are still living in denial about climate change. We are like the Neanderthals in the United States. The people who think that everything is about the Bible, and who think that God will take care of water. And that's how we also think in this country. Everything is not my portion. But it is the portion of everybody. What is going on here is that we are going to live with this for the rest of this season. We have been caught napping, and we have no solution.
Mike, there are concerns that there's going to be food crisis. We have seen farms submerged in water. We've seen, some of these issues already beginning to surface. You've seen health issues already coming up. And we also have the aspect of persons in IDP camps already. Now, all of those, I wonder what you make of all of those, the crisis on our hands.
It's a huge one. And it's unfortunate that it's really sad that when we talk about if this is not done, something is going to happen. Government at a federal, government at state or local government, nobody takes nobody makes a move. And then we find ourselves in the same situation that we keep warning. Environmentalists have been warning over. We can't forget the flood in 2012. And how many people have recovered from, some people have not recovered from it still today. For people whom their houses, they saved a lot of money to build their houses, and then everything collapses in a flood and all of that. Now, if you go to Lokoja, like Sam has said, Lokoja is underwater. So who pays for all of those things? Now, the issue there is that we know that people are supposed to take responsibility. But you see, that's the role of government in trying to guide the people toward, because they see the bigger picture when it comes to the consequences or the benefits of anything. You lead the people into all of that. Now, there's going to be a delegation to to Cameroon for Lagdo. To do what? Every dam has an optimal level of water, as in the water level, where this water should be at this level. In fact, if it increases beyond whatever, of course, it's known thing anywhere in the world.
It is being reported that Cameroon and Nigeria had an agreement, I think in 1982 or so.
They have always had that agreement. Do we know? Nigeria knows. Nigeria knows all of it. Nigeria knows 10 times over.
So I'm wondering what the conversation will be now.
So the point there is that you're sending a delegation to Cameroon, the Lagdo Dam, to do what? For them not to ever open the dam, they will keep opening the dam. It's their right. So the point there is that it is for us, if we live down the line, it is for us to begin to think of several things. Either create the dams that will hold those water, or you begin to look for how to dredge the River Niger and River Benue. And the point there is, if the dredging, of course, if you're going to dredge the two rivers and down to Bayelsa, it's going to take maybe a decade or even two. But the point there is, if they had started this dredging maybe 20 years ago, by now it should have been over. Yeah. So there's going to be food crisis. There's going to be all of the kind of these, because if you see the Lokoja situation, it's really a sad one. Right. And all of the sewage and all of that, everything now is at everybody's level. It's a very sad situation.
This is what they call the flood of biblical proportion.
In the times of Noah.
In the times of Noah.
We've not had stories of plagues and all that yet, and we hope we don't have. There are usually stories too of big fish, you know, like a whale coming, washing offshore, and then people start talking about it.
Isn't this flood like a plague already?
No, I'm talking of the plague of the plague.
Oh, okay.